Once you try a premium cruise line, you're sold. That's what viewers keep telling me. And today, I'll show you exactly why. That phrase, "was sold," it appeared in comments over and over again. Not "I enjoyed it," not "it was nice," sold. Like a conversion happened. Like something clicked that couldn't be unclicked. And the thing is, when I dug into what creates that reaction, I didn't find vague quality claims or marketing fluff. I found 7 specific, nameable differentiators. Operational choices that add up to an experience mass market lines genuinely cannot replicate. So here's what we're doing today. You asked for the deep dive into premium cruise lines, specifically into what makes Viking convert first-timers into lifers. I'm going to give you ammunition, because I know you've got a brother-in-law who thinks you're crazy for paying what you paid. I know you've got a coworker who keeps recommending Carnival. And I know you want specific reasons you can cite, not feelings, not impressions, but actual facts about why your choice was the right one. Let's get into it. The story of Viking starts with one man who built a cruise line for himself. Torstein Hagen, a Norwegian businessman, didn't set out to create just another cruise line when he founded Viking in 1997. He set out to create the cruise line he himself would want to sail on. What drove that vision was a conviction that the cruise industry had lost its way. The relentless pursuit of mass market scale, of onboard revenue extraction, of being everything to everyone. It had created ships that were floating shopping malls with casinos attached, not vessels designed for the kind of traveller Hagen himself was. So he started with a different premise entirely. Hagen started with 4 river vessels purchased through his business connections in Russia in 1997. A market where smaller ships and destination immersion made more sense than megaship entertainment complexes. But the philosophy he embedded into those first boats would eventually scale to an empire. By 2018, Viking was generating $3 billion in annual revenue. By 2023, the company employed over 10,000 people. In May 2024, they went public under the ticker symbol VIK. This is not a boutique operation. It's a major force in the cruise industry, built by a man who decided to reject most of what the industry had become. What Hagen chose to leave out matters more than what he put in. No casinos, not a single slot machine, not one blackjack table, not a roulette wheel anywhere on any Viking ship. No passengers under 18, enforced at booking, not on some honour system. No formal nights requiring tuxedos, no art auctions interrupting your afternoon, no photography teams chasing you through corridors with proofs from dinner. No upsell pressure at every turn. These aren't oversights. They're deliberate rejections of the standard cruise industry playbook. His daughter Corinne serves as executive vice president and has become the face of the brand. She's explained the philosophy in company communications. The thinking traveller, curious, cultured, past the party cruise phase of life, doesn't want casino noise bleeding into corridors at midnight, doesn't want to navigate stroller traffic at the buffet, doesn't want to be constantly sold additional purchases beyond what they've already paid. So Viking created something remarkable, a cruise experience defined as much by what isn't there as by what is. That's what passengers are describing when they use words like chill and relaxed and elegant without being stuffy. The atmosphere isn't accidental, it's engineered through subtraction. Now let me walk you through each of the 7 differentiators in detail, because you deserve to understand exactly why you were sold and exactly why you're not going back. Differentiator 1, the adults-only sanctuary. Viking maintains a strict 18 and older policy enforced at the booking stage. No exceptions. No grandparents bringing a teenage grandchild for a cultural experience. The reservation system simply won't allow bookings that violate the policy. But focus on what this enables, not just what it prohibits. The pool deck transforms into a place for adult relaxation. Lounge chairs occupied by readers and nappers and quiet conversationalists, not parents scanning the water while children roughhouse. The dining rooms maintain an atmosphere where you can actually have a dinner conversation. Discuss what you saw in port. Enjoy a meal without background chaos. The enrichment lectures draw engaged audiences. Programs featuring resident historians, guest speakers, TED Talks programming, Metropolitan Opera live in HD screenings. People actually want to be there. They came for intellectual stimulation and they get it. Viking's average passenger skews toward the 50-plus demographic, but that's not really the point. The point is that a certain type of traveller, regardless of age, seeks an environment where sophistication and quiet enjoyment are the defaults, not exceptions carved out from a family-focused baseline. Virgin Voyages maintains the same 18-plus requirement, though with a completely different vibe targeting younger adults. Viking's version of adults only isn't nightclub energy, it's library energy, coffee shop energy, art museum energy. The calm that comes when everyone around you chose to be there precisely because they value the same atmosphere you do. Differentiator 2, the casino-free zone. To understand how significant this is, consider what a casino represents on a typical cruise ship. It's a major profit center, sure, but it's also a particular kind of environment. Slot machine sounds bleeding into adjacent corridors at all hours. A demographic drawn specifically to gambling rather than cultural enrichment. An implicit message that the cruise line sees passengers as targets for additional revenue extraction. Viking operates 0 casinos across its entire ocean fleet. This sends a very different message. The company has decided it can build a sustainable business model on the quality of the core experience rather than supplementary revenue extraction. And this decision has downstream effects on ship design. Casino space is substantial on vessels built around that revenue model. On a Viking ship, that square footage becomes something else. A larger spa, expanded dining venues, additional lounge space. The absence echoes throughout the entire ship. Celebrity Cruises, by contrast, operates casinos on most of its fleet. This positions Celebrity as what you might call the compromise choice. Premium enough for elevated service and sophisticated design, but retaining traditional cruise amenities for mixed travel groups. Some travellers actively want a casino. For them, Celebrity offers exactly what they're seeking. But for the passenger who finds casino culture antithetical to the vacation they're trying to create, Viking's stance isn't a limitation, it's liberation. Differentiator 3, the genuine all-inclusive model. The phrase all-inclusive has been abused so thoroughly by the travel industry that it's nearly meaningless. Every cruise line claims some version of all-inclusive pricing. Yet passengers consistently report surprise charges, unexpected fees, and steady accumulations of add-ons that transform the advertised fare into something substantially higher. Viking's version operates differently. And here's where your brother-in-law needs a maths lesson. Here's what the base fare actually includes. All meals at all dining venues, no specialty restaurant surcharges whatsoever. The restaurant, the main dining room. World Cafe, a global buffet concept. Manfredi's Italian restaurant. The chef's table, all accessible without additional payment. Beer and wine included with lunch and dinner service. Not a single glass as a promotional come-on. The actual wine service that accompanies your meal. Soft drinks flow freely. Specialty coffees available throughout the ship at no charge. 24-hour room service on a full menu, not some truncated late-night selection. Afternoon tea at the Winter Garden venue. Pastries, finger sandwiches, desserts, all included. At minimum, one complimentary shore excursion per port of call, with multiple options so you can select according to your interests. Unlimited Wi-Fi throughout the ship, eliminating those notorious internet access fees that run hundreds of dollars on other lines. Self-service laundry on each deck at no charge, a small detail that dramatically changes packing calculus for longer sailings. Access to the Live Nordic Spa thermal suite requires no entrance fee. That's the sauna, steam room, heated therapeutic pool, and the distinctive snow room, a Scandinavian tradition. Gratuities, typically around $20 per person per day, are included in the fare rather than appearing as a surprise charge at the end. Now let's compare this to what you'd actually pay on competing premium lines. How does Viking's inclusion model compare to competitors? On lines like Celebrity, specialty dining carries surcharges that allow budget-conscious travelers to skip premium venues. Various add-ons can accumulate throughout a voyage. A 14-day cruise for 2 people can see significant additions to the base fare, items that would be included on a Viking sailing. Princess Cruises, which generated massive engagement when viewers compared it to Viking, operates substantially larger ships, with flagship vessels carrying over 3,000 passengers compared to Viking's 930. Princess welcomes families, operates extensive children's programming, maintains the traditional formal night dress code, and charges surcharges for specialty dining options. The differences in scale and structure mean the experiences diverge significantly. Oceania presents an interesting case because they built their entire brand identity around finest cuisine at sea. The base fare comparison between Oceania and Viking often looks similar, but the final bill comparison after a week at sea can diverge significantly depending on which perks and packages you purchase. Here's the calculation Viking passengers have already done, whether consciously or not. The advertised fare is closer to the actual fare. The psychological experience of not running a tab, of not calculating whether each purchase is worth it, has real value beyond the dollars involved. But the dollars matter too. When you actually account for everything, drinks, Wi-Fi, gratuities, shore excursions, specialty dining, Viking's headline price reflects much more of the total cost than its competitors' headline prices do. What isn't included on Viking? Premium spirits and cocktails outside of mealtime wine service. The Silver Spirits beverage package runs between $27 and $38 per person per day for those who want unlimited premium alcoholic beverages. Premium wine selections beyond house offerings cost extra. Premium shore excursions beyond the complimentary options require payment. Spa treatments beyond thermal suite access are additional. But the critical distinction is the baseline. On Viking, the baseline is genuinely generous, not a stripped-down minimum designed to push you toward upgrades. Differentiator 4. Verandas as standard, not upgrade. This sounds simple. The implications are profound. There are no inside cabins on Viking Ocean vessels. 0. Every single stateroom, from the entry-level category upward, includes a private veranda with floor-to-ceiling glass doors. The smallest accommodations measure 270 square feet, notably larger than comparable entry-level cabins on most cruise ships, and every one offers private outdoor space. The veranda isn't a luxury upgrade to be earned by paying more. It's the baseline experience everyone shares. You wake up and step outside to ocean air without leaving your room. Morning coffee on your private balcony. Watch the ship pull into a new port from your own space rather than fighting for railing position on a public deck. The connection between interior and exterior, between your private retreat and the vastness of the ocean, is built into the architecture. Cabin categories ascend from there: deluxe veranda, penthouse junior suite. But here's the insight. Viking raised the floor rather than the ceiling. You don't start in an interior windowless box and climb toward natural light. You start with natural light and private outdoor space as the given. Upgrades add size, location, and amenities rather than fundamental features. Differentiator 5. The casual, elegant atmosphere. Perhaps no aspect of Viking's positioning generates more enthusiastic response than its dress code philosophy, which can be summarized in 2 words: no formal nights. The traditional cruise ship ritual of designated evenings requiring tuxedos and evening gowns simply doesn't exist on Viking sailings. The requested standard is elegant casual throughout. Collared shirts, dress slacks, sundresses, smart separates, the kind of clothing you'd wear to a nice restaurant in a European capital. This might sound like a minor detail. Listen to how passengers describe its effect, and you'll hear genuine relief. No packing formal attire that takes up precious luggage space. No navigating the social anxiety of dress code calibration. No watching fellow passengers compete in an unstated dress-up contest. The atmosphere becomes, as one passenger perfectly put it, casual but elegant. A phrase that captures the exact midpoint Viking is targeting. You feel put together without feeling costumed, sophisticated without stiff. Princess maintains the traditional formal night dress code for designated evenings. Each line has passengers who appreciate these traditions. But for travellers who find the formal night ritual more exhausting than exciting, Viking's straightforward, elegant, casual every night policy removes a source of vacation stress entirely. The Scandinavian design aesthetic extends this sensibility throughout the ship's public spaces. Nordic minimalism. Clean lines, natural materials, abundant light, restrained colour palettes. No gilded maximalist design language, no Vegas trying to look like Monaco aesthetic, no bowling alley Carnival multiplex visual overwhelm. The spaces feel like high-end Scandinavian hotels, places designed for adults who appreciate quality and restraint. And what's conspicuously absent reinforces everything. No art auctions with aggressive sales pitches. No photography sales teams pursuing you with dinner proofs. No casino noise. No children's programming announcements over the PA. No everything everywhere all at once stimulation. The ship is, as passengers consistently describe it, chill. That word, decidedly informal for what is actually a sophisticated operational achievement, captures something essential. The absence of pressure, of upsell, of aggressive revenue extraction creates space for passengers to simply exist in genuine relaxation rather than constant defense against commercial solicitation. Differentiator 6. Dining as destination. Viking's dining program operates on a principle that seems obvious but is surprisingly rare. Every restaurant is included. And every restaurant is good. The specialty restaurants that on many cruise lines carry $15 or $25 or $75 surcharges are simply part of the Viking experience. Accessible to every passenger on every night without additional payment. Manfredi's Italian restaurant isn't a token Italian option. It's not a dressed-up pasta bar. It's a genuine Italian restaurant experience, with house-made pastas, regional Italian wines, and an atmosphere designed to transport you to a particular culinary tradition. The chef's table offers a multi-course tasting menu, featuring cuisine from regions the ship is visiting, with wine pairings included. World Cafe provides the expected buffet option, but executed at a distinctly higher level than the average cruise ship buffet. And the restaurant, the main dining room, serves cuisine passengers consistently describe as comparable to upscale land-based restaurants. That sounds like marketing hyperbole, until you experience it. Oceania built its entire brand identity around finest cuisine at sea. The base fare comparison between Oceania and Viking often looks similar, but the final bill comparison after a week at sea can diverge significantly depending on which perks and packages you purchase. Viking eliminated that calculation entirely. The inclusion of beer and wine at lunch and dinner transforms the dining psychology. You're not calculating whether the markup on a glass of wine is worth it. You're drinking wine with your meal, as you would in any civilized dining context. The wines aren't bottom-shelf industrial product. They're thoughtfully selected to complement the menu, poured generously, available without micro-negotiation. The simple absence of a running tab changes how dining feels. You linger. You order another glass. You're a guest at a generous host's table, not a customer being metered. 24-hour room service operates on this same inclusion principle. Breakfast on your veranda arrives without delivery fee. Late-night snack after the dining rooms close, available without charge. The full menu, not some truncated room service subset, accessible around the clock. A minor convenience? Maybe. But it reflects the operational philosophy that passengers have paid for a complete experience and shouldn't be nickeled and dimed for individual components. Differentiator 7. Service that notices before you ask. This is the hardest to quantify. It's also the one passengers describe with the most emotional intensity. The staff-to-guest ratio of approximately 1:2, one crew member for every 2 passengers, provides the structural foundation. Fewer guests per crew member means more attention per guest. But ratios alone don't capture what passengers are responding to when they call Viking service unmatched or exceptional or unlike anything I've experienced. What they're describing is the difference between reactive service and proactive service. Reactive service responds when you ask. Proactive service notices what you might want before you've asked and quietly arranges it. Your coffee cup gets refilled before you've noticed it was empty. Your lounge chair acquires a fresh towel during the few minutes you stepped away. The staff remembers your preferences from day one and applies them without prompting throughout the voyage. You mentioned you don't like cilantro at dinner on the first night, and somehow your salads arrive cilantro-free for the rest of the cruise, without you having to repeat yourself. Passengers consistently describe this with emotional intensity. Not generally positive about Viking, specifically focused on the service. And what they kept describing wasn't robotic efficiency, it was warmth combined with competence. The feeling that crew members actually wanted to be there, actually enjoyed creating these experiences, actually took pride in anticipating needs rather than just fulfilling requests. Celebrity earns consistent praise for service quality. So does Princess at its best. These are not bad service experiences. But the comments that generated the most passionate responses weren't comparing good to bad. They were describing a qualitative difference that passengers struggled to articulate. Something about how Viking service felt. The best description I encountered called it invisible until you need it, then instantly present. The crew doesn't hover, they don't interrupt. But when you look up to flag someone down, they're already moving toward you. That balance, attentive without intrusive, seems to be what converts passengers from satisfied customers into evangelical advocates. That's what separates good service from exceptional service. And it's what creates the conversion experience, that moment where passengers realize this isn't just a better cruise. It's a different category of experience entirely. So there they are, 7 specific, nameable reasons why you were sold. No children creating an adult sanctuary. No casino noise or gambling culture. Genuinely all-inclusive pricing that doesn't nickel and dime. Verandas as standard for every single cabin. Casual, elegant atmosphere without formal night productions. Dining included at every restaurant without surcharges. And service that notices before you ask. None of this is vague quality. None of it is marketing speak. These are operational choices Torstein Hagen baked into his company's DNA from the beginning. Choices that represent his answer to the question of what cruising should actually feel like. You're not crazy for paying what you paid. You made a deliberate choice about the kind of experience you wanted, and you chose a company that deliberately engineered exactly that experience. The brother-in-law can enjoy his Carnival cruise. The coworker can keep recommending whatever she recommends. You know something they don't yet. You know what you paid for. You know why it was worth it. And yeah, you're probably not going back. Subscribe for more stories like this.